In 2008, American investment banking giant Lehman Brothers crashed and burned, triggering what we know today as the Great Financial Crisis. We here at No Nonsense Forex were able to uncover their main trading indicator, and we will now share it with you today so you too can also crash and burn. Happy Wednesday, traders. It is the Indicator Profile series, and as is often the case, I was completely full of shit in the intro. This has nothing to do with Lehman Brothers, and it's pretty darn good, if I might say. It's the Lehman trend, whatever it is, Lemur trend. But let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, if you're new, though, understand this is the #1 indicator channel in all of YouTube. It's always been that way. It will always be that way. There will never be a substitute. And that's a really good thing, but we talk and do things a certain way, and it takes a while to get there. And if you're not there, you're not going to know what we're doing. So go to nononsenseforex.com. Read the first page, watch the first video, and get yourself caught up. You are going to love what you see. But for the rest of us, let's go ahead and get the specs on the Lehman trend. Now, this is going to be the year after Lehman crashed, 2009, and the type is going to be a confirmation indicator. This will be a 2 lines cross indicator. And as you're about to see, it's not my favorite type of 2 lines cross indicator for exits, but I think if you ratchet up the settings the right way, you may just have something. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. So this type of 2 lines cross looks a lot more like the absolute strength histogram. If you've forgotten what that was an indicator I debuted to the masses a long time ago, showing you, hey, there are other indicators out there that you have not heard of, and they can be pretty darn good. People fell in love with that thing right away. Probably fell too much in love with it, to be honest. But this one is going to operate the same way, so when the blue line crosses and closes above the red line, that is your signal to go long, and then when it does the opposite, that is your sign to go short. Oddly enough, the default settings are based on Fibonacci, believe it or not, but as is always the case, you can certainly do better than Fibonacci, so that's going to involve you either going to the blog and stealing our tweak settings, which I know that's what most of you guys do when you just stop because you're lazy, or trying different combinations of settings and taking the time to actually test them out. You know, this can be very good. To see how good, let's go ahead and see the results. Before we do that, understand that it doesn't really matter what you see because it only matters how this thing does in your system and nothing else. I always laugh when people get too excited or too poopy in the comments when it comes to what we actually show you in this video. It doesn't really mean anything. I mean, it kind of does. It has to pass certain criteria to even make the show. But as far as your system goes, certain indicators you see here are going to perform much better than other indicators you see here, irrespective of the results. Now, if you don't know how to test, we got you covered down below in the description. We have all sorts of links. The first one is a link to my automation blog showing you how to test these indicators yourself on the MT4 strategy tester. There is an embedded video on that blog you can look at. We do have the Stonehill Forex blog, as we always do, with the tweak settings and all the other, more nerdy stuff you might want to know about this indicator if that applies to you. Stonehill Forex also has their own YouTube channel, which shows this indicator moving in real time to show you how it does not repaint and might end up giving you a few little extra tidbits of information that I do not. Now, if you want to send an indicator in for profiling here on the channel, we have done it in the past, and there's a special email address to where you go do that. So that's going to be down below there as well. And as always, the #1 place in all of the internet. #1. It's the indicator library, where you can download the Lehman trend and every indicator we have profiled here on the Indicator Profile series. Let's go ahead and see the results. Now, with the Euro USD, it's not going to be the most impressive results right off the bat. 5%, at least on the Indicator Profile series, is about what we're averaging these days. Now, if you're seeing results like this for the first time, don't worry. When you start adding other pieces to the algorithm and you start trading other pairs, your bottom line can really go up a lot. But as far as a top indicator goes right now in this environment, we're averaging right about 5%. And so that's what this is doing. Now, going over to gold, we've been averaging a bit under 30%, and this is an improvement on that. In ROI and win-loss ratio, a lot of the win-loss ratios, even though they give us really good ROI, actually drop a bit below 50%. This one is giving you a 50% with a pretty good sample size with 40 trades. And even the 4-hour traders aren't getting screwed with this one. Still pretty nice for you guys too. But we'll be focusing on the daily heavier in these videos because that's what I trade personally, so I'm biased. And that's just where the good results are right now. Moving over to the S&P, this has been pretty strong for the S&P. Really nice win-loss ratio. Not so high to the point where you don't even believe it the first time you see it, but really, really strong. That's 2 out of every 3 trades. And then a 7.25% ROI for your indices traders. And something tells me in a couple months or so, the S&P 500 is going to get pretty interesting from an investing and a trading standpoint. So you might want to start getting on this now if you are not already. Rounding off with Bitcoin, this has been a bit higher for Bitcoin. We haven't been eclipsing 30% lately, but we are here. We've been closer to 20%. We are now up to 30%. So this is a marked improvement over what we have been seeing in the past. And remember too, you guys know, all you Bitcoin traders know, we've been doing nothing but bouncing up and down in a range for a long time now. So it's not like the market gave us this result. The indicator has given us this result. So we were quite excited to bring the Lehman Trend Indicator to you, just like we are all the time bringing this material to you. Subscribe, hit the bell. This is not all we do. We have the Trading Psychology podcast every other Monday. We have the Indicator Profile series every other Wednesday, blog every once in a while on Thursdays, and then every single Saturday we have the 10-Minute Contrarian Investing podcast. Because there are multiple ways to make money in this market, and you need to be well-versed on all of them. It is all things finance here at No Nonsense Forex. Subscribe, hit the bell. Go get it.